Okay, hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the live stream of a wonderfully thrilling presentation, which has to do with the learning agreement and how you can change it and some other basic information about grades and courses and credits and whatnot. I hope you can all see the presentation. It's not full screen because if it's full screen, I can't see your comments. I'm not very tech savvy, so this is what you have to live with. As I mentioned, this is the Learning Agreement Seminar. So, step by step. Not the sitcom, if anyone even ever remembers that, but where you are in your Erasmus journey, what have you done, and what's still ahead of you. I mentioned on Monday that documents are the most fun parts of your entire stay. So these are the little pockets of fun that you can look forward to while you're here. What have you already done so that you know you don't have to do all of these things? Because some of them you have done already. That's the original learning agreement. You have to have that already if you're here, because if you don't have a learning agreement at all, that you can't be accepted. So you already did that. Congratulations. Then you either already enrolled your courses in the information system, or you need to do it as soon as you can. If you're not enrolled, you can go to the courses, or you can just go there as like a listener and no one will give you a grade. And you want your grades, you want your credits, so you need to be enrolled to do all of that. Then, as I mentioned on Monday, you have until the 28th of September to change your courses in the information system. And after that, you'll be able to do changes to the learning agreement from the 29th of September until the 12th of October. We do that like this because you're not supposed to be doing more than one changes to the learning agreement, changing it more than once. So once you know which courses you're taking and they're locked in at the end of the period when you can change your courses, then you do the changes to the learning agreement so that you know that those are the final changes and you will not be changing anything else. That's why that is done. And again, you'll have 2 weeks for that at the start of October. So don't worry about that. You have time. Just breathe in, breathe out. It's cool. Then what you need to do is go to your courses. As I mentioned, you have limited absences, so you need to go to school. Kids stay in school. You register for your exams. Again, I've mentioned there are 3 exam dates. I'll talk about it again this time, just in case it was unclear to someone. You need to register for the exam date that you will go to. Then, because you are the smartest and coolest and the most awesomest person, then you'll pass your exam first try. It's going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then you submit your checkout. And then once your checkout is submitted, we'll be giving you a confirmation of study period, which is sort of like the document that I'm signing for you right now, the confirmation of arrival, except I'll be confirming when you left. And then you'll also be getting the transcript of records with all of the grades that you got. And they're all going to be amazing because you got this, right? So, information system course enrollment. There was one information about learning agreement changes that I gave you on Monday. That is, if you only change your learning agreement, the courses in your IS system, in the information system, haven't changed. The learning agreement is a completely separate document that's for your home university and for the Erasmus administration. And the IS system is for the professors here. So you need to change your courses in both of these things to make the changes final. Except for general medicine is a tiny bit special in that you don't have to enroll your courses yourself. General medicine gets the courses enrolled from the learning agreement by someone who works at the faculty. You need to be registered and then enrolled. Enrollment is the final step, and if you're enrolled, then you're in the course. People expect you to show up, and that's it. So enrollment is the first step, and so registration is the first step, and enrollment is the second step, and that's the step where you want to be at. If your course has seminar groups, you need to enroll into a specific seminar group. How can you find out if there is a seminar group? Just open the course description and look at time and place where the courses take place. And if you see a whole lot of information, a lot of different dates and a lot of different times, those are the seminar groups, and you need to register for a seminar group. And there are YouTube video tutorials for that. I've already shared them with you. I'll be sharing this presentation with you as well. And so you'll be able to find the tutorials there. I'll get to the learning agreement, the question that I just got in a second. But now we're talking about courses. Just a brief interview into the wonderful world of your courses. If there's any problem with enrollment, there's the red line underneath your course. If you learned anything from sci-fi, that means red is bad, something's gone, shields are down or something. So you can't be enrolled automatically. It means you need to ask to be enrolled by the professor. And there's a handy-dandy button in the section where you register and enroll your courses. There's literally just the words apply for permission. So you click apply for permission, you write a short message to the professor that opens once you click the button, and then you submit, and then you wait. And that's it. Very easy solution to a very easy problem. Okay. Now, the steps that you need to take. You make the changes in the IS system, you enroll new courses in case you couldn't get into some courses or some courses didn't open, and you delete courses that you can't take anymore. And that's even easier because there's a little bin icon that looks like a trash bin, and you just click that and the course is gone. That's very easy. If you applied for permission, then you wait. If you haven't received any information just yet, you can also send a personal email to the teacher or to the contact person. You find these people. If you open the course in the IS, then you can click to the links of all of the people that are involved in the course, and you will find their contact information, their offices, their office hours if they have them, so you can just contact them. When all of your courses are finalized and you know exactly what you're going to be taking, you're locked in once again, then you make the changes to the learning agreement during the mobility section. And just some important deadlines for you to know. Making changes is next week until the end of September. And then the enrollment, 15th to 28th. Changes to the learning agreement, which is the Erasmus document, 29 until 12th. So that's that. There's two options to changing your learning agreement. So the learning agreement, in case you weren't sure what that was the list of courses that you plan to take at our university that you were submitting as an Erasmus student before you came here, so that people know that you have courses here to take. And there are two versions of the learning agreement that you could have submitted. Either it was online through a system like Mobility Online, or I only remember Mobility Online from all of these websites, but there's like an online website that your home university manages where you made the original learning agreement. Or there's a PDF. It's like a blank slate. There's some tables there, and you filled it out, and then you submitted it as a PDF document by sending an email to me. So those are the two options for what the learning agreement looks like. If it's online, it's super easy. We're living in the future, and you just open the same website again, the one that you made the original learning agreement in. If you made your online learning agreement in the online website, you open that same website again, and there'll be a section that's called During Mobility, and you just write which courses are new as opposed to the original learning agreement, which courses are no longer relevant, which have been deleted. Don't forget to mention why you have deleted or added them. Usually it's just the course was full and replacement for a course that had to be deleted, but still the reasoning is important. And you just click submit, and everything else gets dealt with by your home university and me, and we do all of this online, and you don't need to even worry about it. So you just open the same website where you made the original learning agreement, then you make those changes. You may mention which courses are new to the original learning agreement and which courses are deleted from the original learning agreement, and that's it. And then you submit it and it's done. The paper version is a bit more difficult in that you have to fill things out into a table, but it's still not difficult. I believe in you, you can make it. So you leave the first page as is, with the first two tables. They are perfectly fine and you don't touch them, okay? You go to the section that's called during mobility. There should be a table A2 and a table B2. Table A2, you just mention which courses from the courses that you are taking here at Masaryk University have been changed, either deleted or added to the original table. And then in table B2, just like originally there was table B where you mentioned which courses are corresponding at your home university, you mention which of these courses then will be added and deleted. Same thing. Don't make a new learning agreement. I think of this as sort of like when they mention video game patches and you read those funny gnomes like you can't no longer set gnomes on fire or something. They don't change the original stuff, they just add new things, the video game patches, to fix some problems, but they don't touch the original code. They don't write you everything else that's there. They just mention what's different now. You can't do this, you can do this, as opposed to the original code of the game. So these are your video game patches. You just mention what's different now, what's new, and what's not longer relevant, and that's it. Just make sure that there's the table A with the courses that you're taking at the Masaryk University, table B, which has the corresponding courses at your home university, and a little section for signatures. And your signature also needs to be there. You need to sign it, and then you send it to get signed. So just fill out those two tables, and then you sign the document. You don't change the original. That's the original video game, and you're not touching that. You're just adding things to the code, okay? You fill it on a computer, ideally, so that we can read it. People sometimes fill it in by hand, but because you need to write the whole course name, it can be hard to read. So either write very legibly or do it online. Write it out in PDF or in Word document or something. Make sure you don't forget the course code. Again, if you were already doing your learning agreement in PDF before, you know that you need to fill in the course codes. You know what they are, you know where they belong. You tick which course has been deleted or added, and if anything has not changed, you just leave them in the original table, in the original code of the video game, and you don't touch them. And here's a handy-dandy picture example. So someone here had some English courses and they wanted to delete one of them because it wasn't just interesting for them anymore, and they added football instead. So you can see in table A2, there's the code of the course, the name of the course. There's a little cross in the section that it has been deleted. And there's a number for the reason, out of the reasons that there are, why it has been done so. And there is the new course that they chose instead, which was football. There's a little cross in the section that says it has been added and has been added for reason number 8. And then there's a corresponding table, B2, for the courses that are corresponding to our courses back home. So it wasn't like specific English, it's just English, and they're no longer taking it, and then added their home university football. Easy, right? And what you do here is that you fill it out, you sign it, you send it to me, and a whole bunch of other stuff happens, you don't need to worry about that. You've done your part, and if you've done it correctly, then it's fine. If you've done something incorrectly, I will email you again, and you'll need to fix it. But if you did everything you were supposed to do, you send it to me, and that's where the work ends, and you're done, and it's done. So, and that pretty much concludes the learning agreement portion. Let's look at some exams and credits and grading and stuff. I touched on it briefly on Monday, but some of you were asleep. I saw you lying down on the desks, so let's mention it again, because it's kind of important. We require at least 20 credits of you. It's the rule for all of the local students. Everyone needs to have at least 20 credits. If your home university needs you to have more, congratulations, you need to have more. If your home university needs you to have less, then the bigger number still wins. Size matters. In this case, the bigger number is the more important number. So if your home university needs less than 20, we need 20. That's the more important number. Your home university needs more than 20, then you need more than 20. Again, it's the bigger number, it wins, and that's the number of credits that you need. We recommend you to enroll in more credits than you necessarily need as a minimum, so that you can fail something and just keep it failed and you don't need to pass everything. But you're obviously allowed to just have the 20 minimum, but then you have to pass everything. And then you have 3 exam attempts, and each of those you can visit, and you will get a grade if you visit. And if you fail 2, you'll get those 2 Fs, and then if you pass at the last one, you'll get that grade. So your grade might look like FFB. The final grade is, of course, the valid grade, but what does making changes in the IS mean? Is it possible to add or delete courses during this period? Yes, making changes in the IS means that you enroll or register new courses or delete the courses that you don't want to take. And you do it the same way that you enrolled your courses originally. And you have until the 28th of September to do exactly this. And then after the 28th of September, you have additional 2 weeks to make changes to the learning agreement, which is what I've been describing for the past couple slides. So I hope you know what that is. That, I think, should respond to that question. Back to grading. So you have 3 attempts. You get a grade from each of the attempt that you visit, and none of the grades get deleted. They just get added after the previous grade. So your grade might look like FFB if you failed the first 2 attempts and then you passed the final one. There will be information in the grading system about this, but if your home university has any questions about this specific grade, they can just send me an email and I'll explain it to them if there's any issue. So don't worry about that. Explaining the exam period. This is the exact same slide that I used on Monday, but people ask a lot of questions at the end of the semester about this. So I figured it bears repeating, because repetition makes sure that you remember it. So you will get 3 specific days when an exam from specific course is taking place. In my example here, there's 1 December, 1 January, and 1 February date. You have those 3 attempts to pass the exam. So if you go to the first one and you fail, you have those 2 other ones. If you are busy on the first exam date and you can't go, you can skip that and register for the second one. And this is why you're registering for the exam dates. They don't expect you to just show up. You need to choose the date when you can come and register it. So you go to the second one only because you couldn't go to the first one. You fail, that's fine. You have the next one. Only one, because you didn't go to the first one. You just didn't use that one. It's just not relevant for you. But if you go to all, you have 3 attempts. If you only go to 2, you only have 2 attempts. That's how this works. Also, you need to, do the work during the semester and also pass the exam to pass the course. Each exam has a certain number of people that can register, but that depends on the professor. Some of them try to make sure they have a certain amount of people. Some of them just open the registration slot for all of the students that can come. But I would recommend registering for the exams as soon as the registration for exams opens by the end of the lesson portion of your semester, if you want to, go to a specific date. Now, there's 3 types of exams that you can get. And you find out what sort of exam your course will have in the course description, because each types of exam has different grades that you can get from it. So there's an exam, which in Czech is zkouška, and that's, if you see ZK in the description, that means it's an exam. And you want to have exam type of exams because you get those A, B, C, D grades. And if it's a colloquium or a credit, colloquium or zápočet, then you only get pass-fail grades. And I recommend highly asking your home university if they accept pass-fail grades. If not, you still have until the 28th of September to change your courses and find courses that have the ZK in the course description so that you can get those ABC grades instead. We give note in the transcript of records. This bit at the bottom of the page is copied out from a transcript from a student that we recommend converting those pass-fail grades, if you pass, into the best possible option. If it were an ABC grade, to convert it to A, but we can't write this conversion into your transcript of records. Each of the courses gets programmed with the certain grades that it can have. And if it's a colloquium, it can only get pass or fail grade and no other grade. So no one can change it in the system. I can't change it, your professor can't change it. And that's the grade that you will have on the transcript of records. Again, there will be this recommendation at the bottom of the transcript. But if you ask your home university and they say that they will have a problem with this type of grade, you can change the course now while you still can to a different course, or you have the whole semester to communicate further and reach some sort of agreement with us and your home university about how this sort of grade can be accepted. So don't leave things until the last minute. As I mentioned on Monday, you have plenty of time to figure out how your grades are going to work right now at the start, so you can do that. And I'm once again being extremely fast. Basically at the end of the presentation, frequently asked questions. So your home university has a completely different grading system. They don't have ABC, they don't have pass-fail, they have percentages or numbers. Can we change it? No. As I mentioned, the types of grades that we can award for certain courses are pre-programmed into the system and we can't change them. So if you want 1 through 20, well, it will not be able to do that in your transcript of records. You will have ABC. That's how that is. Can you sign after the mobility, the different sort of learning agreement? No, I'll be sending you a transcript of records, and that's the document that you're going to get at the end. And if you don't like your grade, you can improve it. As I mentioned, there are 3 exam attempts. So if you go to one of them and you get a grade that you don't like, you can email the professor and email me, and you can be registered for the next exam date and take the exam again and improve your grade. So you can improve your grades. However, keep in mind that the final grade is always the grade that is valid. So if you do worse on the second attempt, then you get the worst grade that you got the second time. Sorry, there's a question. If you want to ask about language courses, you can contact the Center of Language Learning. I don't have this information. Okay. Any more questions? If you have enrolled courses that are not in your learning agreement, you can attend them, but your home university will probably not recognize them at the end of your stay, which usually is the case. But it would be very preferable if all of the courses that you took are in the learning agreement, because sometimes there could be an issue with your home university or the Erasmus administration where they want you to just have the same courses in the system, in the transcript and in your learning agreement. You can ask the professor if you can just attend a course without wanting to have an exam at the end, but then you would have to, talk to the professor. Yes, the transcript of records will include grades from each exam attempt, all of the grades. That's what the FFB example was. If you fail twice, there'll be those FF, and if you pass the last time, you'll get the last grade, but all of the grades will be there next to the course. If the classes start but I don't get enrolled, okay, so classes start next week. If you're not enrolled by next week, go to the class, ask if you can keep coming, and if not, you'll need to find a different course. But until by the end of September, you need to have all of your classes enrolled, and then you will not be able to get enrolled into anything else after the 28th of September. Can I ask for a grade even if the evaluation is credits? As I mentioned, the types of grades that you can get are pre-programmed into the system, and you can only get the type of grade that's allowed for the specific course. And also, if you're not sure which language a course is held in, which I believe one of the questions is, it should be in the course description. If you have two classes at the same time, you will have to pick one of the classes and delete the other class and find a replacement, because you can't attend two classes at the same time. If you get enrolled, the learning agreement should then get approved. Usually it does. If it doesn't, well, email me, we'll try to figure something out. But most often than not, 99% of the time, those changes are fine. You need to take 70% of courses at our department. Do the Czech language courses count for the other 30? Well, yes, the Czech language courses are offered by a different department. So yeah, those are the 30%. Okay, I'll be ending the stream, and the Q&A session is moving to the Teams link that you have in the orientation week ticket. I'll be at the Teams meetup for the next half hour. So if you have any more questions, you're free to ask.